Hello and welcome to your beginners class today. So I would like you to have a chair. Okay, so sitting in Sukhasana, simple cross legs. Change the cross of the legs, sit on an appropriate height for you to enable your thighs to release down. Pull the flesh of the thigh and the buttock back, so the top of the thigh and the middle of the buttock moves back, so that you're sitting on the front of your sitting bones. And now don't sit into your pelvis, extend the spine out of your pelvis. We're trying to get this spinal elongation. Roll your shoulders back and down, and now stretch your arms out in line with your shoulders. Just bring your fingertips to the ceiling and extend the heels of the hands away from you. This can be quite a strong action. So again, stretch as though you're pushing the walls out either side of you. Now stretch your fingertips out again. Rotate your arms at the root. So by that I mean don't just turn the wrists. Turn the whole of the upper arm and extend the arms out again. So hard to do to keep this spinal elongation and this opening action. Now stretch your arms up by your ears, bring the palms together and bring the hands down into the Namaskar. Allow the eyes to close and let your breath start to steady and settle. Be broad across the collarbones, so take the outer tips of the shoulders back. Let your shoulder blades release. So allow the shoulder blades to glide down your back ribs. Extend the breastbone towards the ceiling. Take the outer tips of the elbows back. Press the hands together evenly. So feel the contact of your hands, each of your fingertips against its partner. All of the knuckles pressing against one another. Soften the throat. Release the facial features. And start to observe your breath. Fine inhalation, fine exhalation through the nostrils. And now allow the head to release down. Feel the muscles in the back of the neck elongating. Don't let the chest collapse. Keep the breastbone lifting towards the ceiling. And now release your hands, palms face down onto your thighs. Lift your head and gently lift the eyelids. Okay, well done. So we're going to come into the first action, which is Adho Mukha Svanasana, dog head down. And we're going to work today with the hands and feet wide on this first go. So I'm just going to show you. I want you to take your little fingers slightly off the edge of the mat. Your toes will tuck under. I want the feet slightly wider than normal, not very wide, but slightly wider than normal. And then we're going to come to and fro like this to just get a little bit of movement in the shoulders, in the armpits, and in the upper back region. Okay, and then when we come down out of the pose, you're going to sit back on your heels, lift through the frontal pelvic bones, extend forwards. Now I don't want you to take your head down in this, okay, because what we're doing is we're just seeing, can we get the upper back to move, then your head can come down. Okay, let's give that a go. Be on your hands and knees, little finger off the outer edge of the mat. Middle finger points directly forwards and the fingers are really well spread, so you're getting a very good connection with the palms of the hands, but also with all of the knuckles, including that index finger knuckle and your thumb knuckle. Look at your feet. You want your feet a little bit wider than hip width. Tuck your toes under, lift your abdomen towards your spine. And now lift your sitting bones up. Don't take the heels down. Keep the heels lifted. So lift your sitting bones as high as you can towards the ceiling. Look forwards at your hands. Press down again with your index finger knuckles, and now shift the weight towards the hands and back. Towards the hands and back. Towards the hands, keep pressing down and back. Towards the hands and back, and then just stay back, just rock there a little bit. See if you can feel that opening in the armpit region, the movement of the upper back, and then come down onto your hands and knees, sit back onto your heels. If you can't do this action of sitting back on the heels, then do the version on the inset. Lift up through the frontal pelvic bones, extend forwards, keep the buttocks moving back, and take the hands down. So again, don't take the head down at this stage. Have the little fingers overlapping the edges of the mat. Stretch the arms forwards, keep the elbows lifted up, keep the wrists away from the floor. And now, just see if you can move that upper back in. You can just move it down a little bit here. Lift up and move it down. Now, if your head doesn't easily come to the floor, you will put some foam pads or a brick underneath it, or you can take your head to the floor. And breathe. Fine inhalation, fine exhalation through the nostrils. Okay, so we're not staying there very long, keeping this moving today. So we're going to come now into a Tadasana action. I'm just going to show you how we're going to work. You're going to stretch the arms out, take the hands up, extend the arms out, rotate, take them up, bring the hands together, and bring them down into the Namaskarasana. Okay, so let's do that together. Inner edges of the feet together, weight back into the heels, toes spreading, thigh muscles lifting, pull up the kneecaps. Breathe. Bring your hands to the center and stretch them out as though somebody's got hold of a wrist on each side and is pulling your arms away from your body. Now, bring your fingertips to the ceiling. A little bit easier to do this when you're standing than it is when you're seated. So hopefully this will feel a little bit better. So stretch the heels of the hands away from you. Now extend the fingertips out again. Breathe, keep breathing through the nasal passages. Keep the weight back into the heels. Rotate the arms at the root. Stretch into your fingertips, extend the arms up, bring the hands together and bring them down into the Namaskarasana. And breathe and smile and release the hands down. We're coming for Virasana 2 now. I'm just going to show you how this is going to work. So we're going to step or jump the feet. We're going to turn to the right first. Left foot in slightly, whole of the right leg and foot out completely. Then you're going to stretch into your fingers and lift the fingers towards the ceiling. Extend into the heel of the hands. Really extend into the outer edges of the back foot. Stretch your fingertips and then you bend into an angle. All right, so let's do that one together. Hands to the center, step or jump. Extend into the fingertips, lift your chest. So really stretch out, stretch out, stretch out, and then fingers towards the ceiling. Keep breathing. So breathe through the nasal passages. You need it for these strong arm actions. Active in the legs, kneecaps lifting, thigh muscles lifting, pressing into the outer foot bones. Now stretch the fingers back out again. And breathe. Lift up onto the heel of the left foot. Turn the toes in 15 degrees. Hopefully you know this pose, Virasana 2. Turn the whole of your right leg and foot out to 90 degrees, rotating at the root. Now you've got to push down into the outer edge of the back foot. Keep the spinal column vertical as you bend your front leg. So you're not leaning to your right, you are staying upright. Keep the rotation on that front leg. We worked a bit on that last week, I think. Look along the ring finger of your right hand, come up, turn the feet to face forwards, step or jump the feet, back into the center, interlock the fingers behind and stretch the arms down. So after the arms have been stretching out for a while, oh, it does make your body respond. But we have to develop this awareness, this strength, this stability, even in the face of a challenge. Okay, and releasing the arms, and we're going to go to the other side now. Step or jump, extend into the fingertips, open out the fingers to start with, like a starfish. Now bring them together and bring the fingertips up. Breathe, press into the outer foot bones, lift out of your pelvis, lengthen your tailbone down, stretch the fingers out. Look to make sure that everything is in line. Turn your right foot in slightly, the whole of your left leg and foot out completely. Make sure that the heel and the instep are in line with one another. Lift out of the pelvis, keep the rotation in the front leg, bend to an angle. Now when you bend to an angle, it's as though somebody's got hold of your right wrist and is pulling you back to the right so that you don't lean your body. And roll and rotate this front thigh. So we're really turning it here so that we're getting the rotation, so that the knee doesn't start migrating towards the front of the mat. Active in the back leg, look along the ring fingers of your left hand. Breathe, and then coming up, turning the feet and stepping or jumping. So interlock the fingers behind and change the interlock of the fingers to the other way so that we're now working in the other direction. Fine inhalation, fine exhalation through the nostrils. Just let the breath steady and settle for a moment in this action while I show you where we're going to next. So the next pose we're going to do is Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, and we're going to do this on the seat of a chair. So I would like you to have your chair to the wall. I'm going to show with this chair here because I know that the chair is not going to move. But that's because I know what the chairs are like and I know what the sticky mat is like. For you, I'd like you to take your mat and your chair to the wall. So you're going to put your hands onto the seat of the chair, walk back like this, and then we're going to walk a little bit forwards, swing forwards, and come into Urdhva Mukha Svanasana onto the seat of the chair. All right, so let's give that a go. Start out with the hands down on the seat of the chair. You can turn your hands out a little bit, make a little bit of space. Walk the feet back, have the feet hip width apart, come into a dog pose, dog head down here. Abdomen towards the spine, look forwards, move that upper back in, walk a little bit forwards and swing forwards into Urdhva Mukha. Breathe. Lift your chest, lift your breastbone, don't let the belly drop to the floor, don't let the thighs drop to the floor. Keep the back legs, the legs active, front thighs to back thighs. All right, come up and push back and just get some length in the body. Breathe. All right, so we're going to go again. So you're going to walk back into a dog head down action. Lift the abdomen up towards the spine, lift your frontal pelvic bones away from the floor, and then keeping the legs strong and straight, swing forwards. So keep the tailbone long, keep the legs nice and firm, and take the chest through the arms. If you can lift your chest a little bit more, then that's what you do. Keep on the tops of your toes, don't come onto the fronts of the feet. All right, and then push back into your dog head down again. Really get that nice length through the spine. and get the abdomen moving up. Okay, good. So the first twist that we're going to do is a Marichyasana twist. So I'm just going to show. We're going to take up, the left leg, stretch up with the left arm and turn to the right. Okay, so let's give that one a go. Sit in Dandasana on your height. Now if you don't have foam pads, a couple of folded blankets will be fine. Pull the flesh of the buttocks out and back. You need to be sitting on something because we need the elevation. All right, when we take this left leg up, I just want you to hold behind the knee and just let it rock a little bit. Okay, beyond the center of the other heel. Then bring the heel right back, interlock the fingers, lift the chest. Now stretch your left arm up in line with your left ear. Really stretch up. And now bend forwards and hook. And now turn so that your right hand comes onto your pads behind. Now if you don't have any foam pads, you can always take your hand to the seat of a chair or a wall behind you. Just something to give you a little bit of traction with that other hand. And breathe. Okay, releasing and going to the other side. So lifting up the right leg, just hold it up, put your fingers in the back of the knee a little bit and rock that leg a little. Bring the heel in, interlock the fingers, lift the chest. So let the abdomen settle back into the pelvis. It's got to retreat. Stretch up with your right arm, hook and turn. So we press and turn, press and turn. Okay, good. And releasing. So we're going to take a belt and I'm going to show you this. The belt's not done up correctly, but never mind. We're going to place this belt around the armpit region and take the leg up. Now, if you don't have a yoga belt, then what you can do is do this action, but just hold behind the back of the thigh with your hands. That's what we used to do when we didn't have belts back in the old days. All right. So the belt comes around the armpit region. So get yourself sorted, get your belt in position, the belt under the armpits or hands behind the back of the thigh, and then stretch your left leg out. Now you have to push this right thigh away from you. So we're getting this action here of pushing the right thigh away. Obviously if you're holding behind the thigh, you've got both hands there, so you can't do that. You just have to actively push the thigh away from you by using your leg muscles. Keep the left leg strong and straight and be on the center of the heel. Releasing and going to the other side. Stretching your right leg out and pushing with the left hand. So it just opens out all of the back of the sacral region, all of the lower back. Obviously if the legs are a little bit tight, then your legs won't be as high as mine are. I don't want you having your foot right over in any case. It needs to be at around 90 degrees or lower. So if your leg's lower, then the belt is really, really handy. And if you don't have a yoga belt, then if you've got tight hamstrings, maybe that's a purchase you need to invest in. All right, releasing. It does help for these home classes to have your own equipment at home. All right, so now we're going to come into Shavasana, relaxation. If you have a bolster, it would be really good to have a bolster underneath your knees. If you don't have a bolster, you can take your legs to the seat of the chair it's just a good way to work to have the legs slightly lifted. So either here with the legs onto the seat of a chair, blanket underneath the head, or if you've got a bolster and that's a sufficient height for you, then you take your legs over the bolster. So I'm just giving these two options so that you have a choice there. You have to really feel what suits your back. So, you know, give both of, if you have a bolster, then give both of these a go. Put your feet on the bolster, lengthen the back of the pelvis, and then rest the feet down and turn the palms to face the ceiling with the fingers just curling in. If you're working on the seat of the chair, same action. Allow the eyes to close and let the breath start to flow through the nostrils. So with these actions, you have to really let the body melt into the floor. Okay, so I am going to leave you in your Shavasana now. I'd like you to do a 5-minute Shavasana, longer if you prefer. Just let everything settle down after what was quite a strong sequence. So I hope you enjoyed the class today. Please do commit to your Shavasana for a few more minutes, and I'll look forward to seeing you again next time. Namaste.